Hello and welcome to Little Learners. In today's video I'm going to be going over 5 tips for teacher training interviews. So that could be for a PGCE or a number of other routes into teaching. I recently posted a video about my experience teacher training and the PGCE course that I was on, so I will link that in the description box below if you're interested. And after that video, quite a few people were asking what my top tips for interview would be. Before we get started, don't forget to click that subscribe button so that you can see more videos just like this. And if you do end up finding this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up as it really helps out the channel. Tip 1. Being prepared. Now, this seems like a very general one, and I guess in a way it is, but what I mean by being prepared is making sure that you have everything you need to take with you to interview. So if in your invitation for interview you have been asked to bring certain certificates or proof of qualifications or your passport maybe, make sure you put them in a folder or an envelope and do not leave it until the night before or the morning of to do that, because it will just be stressful. Trust me, I know. So just make sure you get all of that together so that you don't even have to think about it. Put it in your bag, ready for the interview. Tip 2. Education news. It's really important to keep up to date with education news, especially in the run-up to your interview, but also just as a practitioner in general. I mentioned in my video about my PGCE experience that when I went to my interview, I had to do a task and it was based on my knowledge of education news that week. One of the easiest ways you can keep up to date with education news is just to get something like the BBC News app and check the education tab every day so that you know what is currently going on. Sometimes there won't be anything major, but if there is a big story, you want to make sure you know about it. Tip 3. Knowing your subject area. It's a really good idea to brush up on your subject area before you go to interview. So it's good to just have a little read over the national curriculum or the EYFS, depending on the subject and age group that you're intending to train to teach. You don't need to go in depth, but it will just make you feel a bit more confident if you're asked any questions about your specific area. I will link in the description box below where you can find information on the national curriculum and the early years foundation stage. Tip 4. School experience. If you can and if there's time, it's a really good idea to try to get some school experience, just going into a school and observing other teachers. Many teacher training courses will require this anyway, sometimes before you get to interview, or others may allow you to come for interview and then offer you a place on the condition that you go and get some experience. And you can absolutely go and do some school experience even before you've applied for interview, just to make yourself feel a bit more prepared. So do check with your teacher training provider of what they expect. But even if they don't require it, it's a very good thing to go and do. Just contact some of your local schools and ask if you can come in and observe. Schools are generally pretty supportive of this. They're very used to students and people who are hoping to become teacher training students coming in just to see what the school environment is like and to get a little bit of observation in. This can be so helpful when you go to your interview and you're asked certain questions, which we're going to move on to next. Tip 5. Preparing for questions. So it's important to think of the different questions that you might be asked in an interview and how you might go about answering them. Some questions that you might be asked could include: why do you want to teach? Why have you chosen this particular route into teaching? So depending on whether you're doing a university-based route or a work-based route, for example. And they might ask you for some examples of good practice that you've seen in schools, which is where the observation would come in. Now, of course, if you're not able to get any observation for whatever reason, you can use your experience as a student, observing your own teachers. If you'd like a video dedicated to what questions you might be asked and how you might go about answering them, let me know in the comments below. That's definitely a video I can make if you think it would be useful. So I hope this video has helped you feel a little bit more prepared and given you some ideas of what you can do to make yourself feel more prepared and more confident and more ready for interview. I'd like to wish you the very best of luck if you are currently trying to get into a teacher training program, whichever route you decide to choose. Do ask any questions and share any advice in the comments below. Click that subscribe button so that you can see more videos just like this. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like as it really helps out the channel. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you next time.